Beijing in 1600 was not merely a capital. It was a world wrapped inside walls, rituals, whispers, and brilliance. Anyone who entered the city's colossal gates felt a strange sensation, as if they were walking into the warm breath of a sleeping dragon. Smoke curled from hearths and metal workshops, silk rustled from the robes of nobles, and beneath it all lay a deep pulse, the heartbeat of the Ming Dynasty. At this time, Emperor Wanli sat on the dragon throne. His reign was long, powerful, and yet strangely distant. Behind the vermilion gates of the Forbidden City, he increasingly withdrew from daily governance. The vast machinery of the empire was often controlled by ministers, bureaucrats, and eunuchs whose voices filled the echoing marble halls. Still, to the people of Beijing, the emperor remained a semi-divine figure, the son of heaven, whose presence shimmered like a distant sun. The interior life of Beijing was a stunning dance between elegance and survival. Inside the Forbidden City, time moved differently. The ground was paved with polished stone that gleamed under the soft glow of lanterns. Red wooden pillars, thick as ancient trees, supported roofs glazed with golden tiles that sparkled like dragon scales in the morning light. Courtyards stretched endlessly, each one carrying the faint scent of incense and fresh rainwater left by palace gardeners. Servants padded silently across the stone floors, their footsteps barely whispering. Eunuchs in flowing robes moved with precise, almost ghostly grace. Scholars brought scrolls bound in silk, heavy with calligraphy that recorded the fate of the empire. In the deeper chambers, where common eyes never wandered, shimmering jade ornaments, lacquer boxes, and embroidered cushions filled the private world of royalty. But beyond those sacred walls lay the beating streets of ordinary Beijing, blazing with color, sound, and life. The city's Hutongs, narrow, winding alleyways, were its living veins. Here, families woke early to the sounds of roosters, iron tools clinking, and traders calling out their goods in melodic Beijing accents. Houses were simple but filled with warmth. Gray brick exteriors wrapped around inner courtyards, wooden beds covered with handmade quilts, and clay stoves that glowed during the cold northern winters. Beijing's markets were another marvel. Rows of stalls overflowed with embroidered robes, shining porcelain bowls, carved wooden combs, steamed buns, roasted duck, crushed spices, and tea leaves so fragrant they seemed to perfume the entire street. Travelers and merchants from far provinces, and sometimes from distant lands, gathered in the markets, turning the city into a vibrant crossroad of cultures. Craftsmen worked tirelessly. Blacksmiths hammered iron until sparks danced like stars. Carpenters carved beams for temples and homes. Silk weavers created fabrics that moved like water. Every corner of Beijing hummed with industry, faith, and aspiration. Temples were alive with prayer. Bells rang softly in the morning air. Monks in saffron robes walked slowly, their footsteps measured and calm. Even the great stone city walls felt spiritual, guardians watching over the empire. But beneath the beauty, there was a subtle tension. The winds of history were shifting. The emperor retreated more and more into his private chambers, and political factions sharpened their agendas like hidden blades. Yet the people continued their lives with strength, dignity, and rhythm, unaware of the storms approaching Beijing's horizon. Still, in 1600, the city was magnificent, a place where smoke rose in elegant spirals and silk fluttered like captured sunlight. A city ancient yet alive, a city that breathed. And though the dragon stirred uneasily, Beijing shone with unmatched glory. By the dawn of the 17th century, Beijing stood like a colossal guardian, holding back the uncertainty of a changing world. Its walls, thick and towering, stretched across the landscape like the ribs of an ancient beast. Its vast gates, Dishengmen, Chongwenmen, Andingmen, opened every morning to a flood of carts, merchants, soldiers, families, and monks, each carrying their stories into the heart of the empire. Though the world outside trembled, the city itself felt like a monument carved from time. Yet beneath this surface of strength, cracks began to whisper. The Ming Dynasty was weakening. Emperor Wanli's withdrawal from public affairs created long shadows across the political landscape. Ministers fought like wolves behind closed doors, their voices echoing through the long stone corridors of the Imperial Administration Hall. Eunuchs gained startling influence, controlling resources, appointments, and messages that filtered toward the throne. Meanwhile, corruption spread like quiet rot through the imperial system. But Beijing itself, that grand city of dreams and danger, refused to bow. Every sunrise, soldiers marched atop the city walls, scanning the horizon for northern threats. Mounted patrols thundered through the wide avenues near the Forbidden City, their armor clinking like wind chimes of steel. Beyond the Great Wall, rumors circulated of Mongol raids, shifting alliances, and unrest. The capital listened carefully, yet it remained unbroken, trusting its might, its people, and its destiny. Inside the sprawling Hutong neighborhoods, life continued with astonishing resilience. Families lived in simple courtyards, square compounds framed by gray bricks, paper windows glowing with candlelight. Children played with spinning tops or drew patterns in the dust. Women prepared meals over clay stoves, filling the air with the aroma of ginger, garlic, and steamed wheat buns. Men gathered in teahouses, sipping hot jasmine tea as they discussed news, poetry, and the rising price of grain. There was hardship, but also hope. Merchants refused to let the uncertainty hinder their ambitions. Their stalls overflowed with lacquerware, calligraphy brushes, jade pendants, bronze mirrors, and silk robes of every imaginable shade. Craftsmen continued their art as if defying the troubles of the empire. Potters shaping porcelain with steady hands, carpenters carving dragon motifs into furniture, painters capturing mountains, rivers, and legends in ink. The city's spiritual strength burned bright. Temples echoed with chants. Incense smoke drifted skyward in curling ribbons. Old monks whispered blessings for stability and peace. Even the Temple of Heaven, with its deep blue tiles and perfect symmetry, seemed to stand as proof that harmony could still exist amidst chaos. And towering above everything, the Forbidden City shone with unwavering dignity. Its golden rooftops gleamed under the northern sun. Its halls whispered the weight of centuries. Even when political storms raged inside, its architecture spoke of eternal endurance. To the people outside its walls, it remained the heart of China, a heart that must never stop beating. Beijing faced pressure, uncertainty, and slow-moving crisis, yet the city did not crumble. It adapted. It endured. It sharpened itself in the fires of history. And when the great storms of the mid-1600s finally descended, rebellion, invasion, the fall of Ming and rise of Qing, Beijing did what it had always done. It refused to fall. Like a phoenix wrapped in stone and silk, the city rose again, shining with renewed power. For Beijing was not just a capital. It was a civilization, a spirit, a legend carved into the earth. And legends do not break.